90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 Episode 10 Recap. Tears, phone snooping, and a Florida curveball. By author Paul Daly. Some weeks, 90-Day Fiancé delivers background noise. Other weeks, it sets off chain reactions that make you wonder if any of these couples have ever had a genuine conversation outside of cameras. 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 Episode 10 landed firmly in the latter category, a slow-burn car crash where every storyline managed to bleed into the next. Kara's teary meltdown flowed neatly into Elizabeth's discovery that her husband is basically the FBI, which dovetailed into Jasmine and Matt's relocation bombshell, before the hour closed on Brandon and Julia learning, again, that Betty treats weddings like hostile takeovers. TLC screenshot. It all began with Kara and Guillermo's trip, billed as a chance to reset their marriage, but it quickly unraveled into accusations and recriminations. Let TV Fanatic come to you. You can have great TV Fanatic content delivered right to your inbox. All you need to do is subscribe now. Guillermo leaned into the cheating narrative so hard you'd think he was auditioning for a Maury reboot, while Kara tried to flip the script by hinting maybe he was the guilty. The preview all but promised a bombshell revelation, and if that ends up being a pregnancy announcement, Jasmine's grip on the spotlight will be secure for the rest of the season. Big Brother spoilers. Week 9 veto winner revealed as fan favorites game hangs in the balance. By Paul Daly. Project Runway's new format is seamlessly bad, and it can't make it work. By Jasmine Blue. The Traitors is finally keeping it real, with no celebs, high stakes and pure treachery. By Jasmine Blue. Gino is out here playing the role of a scorned soap villain, swearing vengeance while cutting off family members with melodramatic texts like, "Have a nice life." Andre was violating her privacy while claiming to protect her. TLC screenshot. Jasmine learned Matt had been holding back life-changing news while still expecting her loyalty. Brandon and Julia struggled against parents who couldn't let go of control. Each couple was tested in different ways, but the common denominator was mistrust, whether between spouses, friends, or in-laws. By the time credits rolled, nearly every storyline was dangling over a cliff. Kara was gone in tears, Elizabeth stormed out, Jasmine was left stewing, Brandon braced for yet another round of parental sabotage, and Gino was plotting revenge in text messages no one will ever take seriously. It was reality TV at its most chaotic, messy, melodramatic, and utterly impossible to look away from. TLC screenshot. 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 has stumbled at times, but this episode remembered the formula. It's not about love stories or happy endings. It's about mistrust, egos, and the inevitable explosions that come from couples who are better suited to dueling than dating. The episode proved that when the cast is messy enough, you don't need fancy twists, the drama writes itself. And if there's any justice, the next installment will finally be the one where Gino's smug little grin gets wiped clean off his face. If you're digging our 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After coverage, check out Big Brother and Project Runway. 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Online, Elizabeth decided to confront Alexei about allegedly making rude comments about Lauren's body, but before that conversation could even land, Andre chimed in with one of the most reckless admissions of the season. He'd been snooping through Elizabeth's phone. In a franchise full of bad decisions, this one ranks high. Lauren's disgust was immediate, Elizabeth's fury was volcanic, and Andre suddenly looked like a man who realized he'd not only detonated his marriage but also still had a $75,000 financial sinkhole waiting for him at home. Yara, meanwhile, spun in the background like a low-rent Kris Jenner, furious that the fights were stealing focus from her party. It would have been sad if she didn't treat business ventures like fast fashion, here today, gone tomorrow, and forgotten by the next episode. And while Elizabeth was questioning whether her husband had any respect for boundaries, Jasmine was busy questioning whether her new partner even trusted her enough to share his future plans. Matt casually dropped the bombshell that he's moving to Florida, something he'd apparently known for a while but decided not to tell Jasmine until now. Her reaction was equal parts hurt and disbelief, and honestly, who could blame her? They lived together, yet he was planning a move in silence. Jasmine needs to ditch everyone. Still, you could see the wheels turning. Jasmine cutting ties with Michigan, ditching Gino's ghost once and for all, and setting herself up in Florida with Matt. The preview all but promised a bombshell revelation, and if that ends up being a pregnancy announcement, Jasmine's grip on the spotlight will be secure for the rest of the season. Jasmine Blue. Gino is out here playing the role of a scorn-soaked villain, swearing vengeance while cutting off family members with melodramatic texts like, "Have a nice life." TLC screenshot. The man has lost his wife, lost his dignity, and is now losing relatives, but still thinks he's in control. At this point, Gino's confidence is its own reality TV subplot, tragic, baffling, and somehow still entertaining. What does he have to gain from proving Jasmine is a villain? He has older seasons of their time on the show to prove that he's been no oil painting of a husband. He's a disturbed individual. Just in case things weren't messy enough, Brandon and Julia's attempt at a second wedding ceremony reminded everyone that Betty doesn't need an invitation to make herself the star of their storyline. With Julia's parents involved this time, it should have been a sweet celebration. Instead, Betty slipped right back into micromanagement mode, dictating everything like she was the producer of the event rather than the mother of the groom. Brandon and Julia, with support from Julia's mother, finally snapped back, but the preview made it clear the meddling won't stop there. Brandon needs to have a word with his parents. Ron and Betty appeared to be praying for bad weather to derail the ceremony, as if divine sabotage was their last hope at regaining control. Spoiler: the only thing ruined will be their spot in the family photo album. What tied all these stories together was the glaring lack of trust. Kara and Guillermo's marriage crumbled because they couldn't believe each other anymore. Elizabeth realized Andre was violating her privacy while claiming to protect her. By the time credits rolled, nearly every storyline was dangling over a cliff. Kara was gone in tears, Elizabeth stormed out, Jasmine was left stewing, Brandon braced for yet another round of parental sabotage, and Gino was plotting revenge in text messages no one will ever take seriously. It was reality TV at its most chaotic, messy, melodramatic, and utterly impossible to look away from. 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 has stumbled at times, but this episode remembered the formula. It's not about love stories or happy endings. It's about mistrust, egos, and the inevitable explosions that come from couples who are better suited to dueling than dating. The episode proved that when the cast is messy enough, you don't need fancy twists, the drama writes itself. And if there's any justice, the next installment will finally be the one where Gino's smug little grin gets wiped clean off his face. If you're digging our 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After coverage, check out Big Brother and Project Runway. 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Online, the only interesting moment from the 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 trailer finally aired, and honestly, it did not disappoint. We've been waiting weeks for this train wreck to pull into the station, and the messiness was chef's kiss. 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 Episode 6 was otherwise another nap-inducing slog, until the fight heard round the bar broke out and reminded us why this franchise is still the king of reality TV chaos. We've been building toward this inevitable showdown between the two women in Gino's orbit, his still wife Jasmine and his shiny new love interest, Natalie. And Gino, my guy, what exactly did you think was going to happen when you invited your current flame to a family event you knew your ex would be attending? Did you think they'd braid each other's hair and swap recipes? TLC screenshot. Last week, Gino practically had, "Let's make Natalie look better than Jasmine," written on his forehead. And now, Jasmine's supposed to be fine watching him play doting boyfriend. She's still wearing her wedding ring, so of course she's going to have feelings about this. But let's be real, she aimed all that fury at the wrong target. 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Season 9 is a mess. If Jasmine had walked in, smiled sweetly, and introduced herself to Natalie, she would have looked like the bigger person, and Gino would have been the one sweating bullets. But Jasmine doesn't do subtle. The Rainmaker Season 1 Episode 4 Review, Not Nice, Jackie. By Carissa Pavlica. Invasion Season 3 Episode 3 Review, Family, Secrets, and the Return of the Threat. By Paul Daly. Dexter. Resurrection Season Finale Review, The Code Evolves. By Carissa Pavlica. Instead, she went from 0 to Banshee in 0.3 seconds. We're talking screaming expletives, accusing Natalie of being a sex worker, and then lunging like this was a UFC undercard. The producers didn't even need to add dramatic music, it was pure chaos. Poor Dana got caught in the crossfire, shoved to the ground while trying to break it up. This bar was basically one spilled drink away from a full-blown WWE SmackDown. And the bar patrons, cheering, like they were at a championship fight. Jasmine basked in the applause while Natalie was pushed outside, and was left trying to figure out what alternate reality she had just walked into. Meanwhile, Gino, the human beige sweater, stayed inside. Didn't follow Natalie out, didn't defend her, just stood there, sipping his drink like he was watching sports highlights. When he finally did go outside, it was only because someone prompted him. Natalie was humiliated, and the man who brought her there couldn't even muster the